Hi, it's Claire and welcome to Needle Say More. Today I'm going to show you how I got on making the Marnie top by Tilly and the Buttons and the changes I made to the pattern. So this is the first one I made. Now I know this won't be to everyone's taste because it's really bright, colourful, viscose crepe, really bold pattern, and I went for the ruffle collar. I did the pleated pin tuck detail here and the ruffle, so it is a lot, but I do really like it because it's a really fun top. I think the ruffle collar is really nice, but I get quite irritated by like labels and stitching and things, so I don't think I'll do it again, but I really like it for this version. I really like how the pin tucks have kind of distorted the print. I think that's really good. For this variation I added an inch across the front and back bodice and across the top of the sleeve, but I actually don't think it's enough because you can see that's the bottom of the sleeve. I'd ideally want it there, so it is cutting in a little bit. I did add 2 inches originally to the hem, but then once I made it, because it's quite loose here, having that extra length, it just didn't have enough kind of shape around the hips, so then I took that 2 inches back off. So the only addition I've got is the inch across that. Overall I'm really happy with it. I think it's a really nice top and I think it's just really colourful, really fun, and it's nice to have pieces like this in your wardrobe. On the back, oh, just popped open. I did a hook and eye instead of the button and buttonhole, just because I thought it worked with the print better. There you go, I'll show you there. Because with the button and buttonhole, I wanted the print to line up and I felt like I could get that better with a hook and eye. So this was the second one that I made. So this time I added another 2 inches across the chest here, so 3 inches in total from the first one I made, and I didn't do the opening at the back. I just put a binding inside, made my own bias binding that matched, and put this inside the neckline, but actually it is big enough to get on and off without that the opening, so it has worked really well. I also didn't add the sleeves, but I think I need to come up a little bit. So when I'm like that, it's totally fine, but from the side that's a bit too much bra, so I think I need to bring it up an inch. And again I made my own binding and bound the armholes, which I think if this was a sleeve it'd be totally fine, but because I've left it open, that's a bit too much kind of side skin and a bit too much of my bra. I really love this fabric, so it's like a blue, like a royal blue and white striped seersucker, so it's got a really nice texture to it. It is quite loose and quite big, but it's really nice kind of for the hot weather, because it's just really nice to wear. So I'm really pleased with this one. Bar that, I think it works really well, and I think it'd be a really nice top to wear in the summer, which is really easy to throw on, and it's really cool and light, and who doesn't love a blue and white stripe? So I'm really pleased with this version. Okay, so this is version number 3. I feel like this has been a bit of a Goldilocks top. So the first one, I'm really happy with both versions, but both I've just had small tweaks I wanted to make after I finish it, whereas this one I feel like I got all those tweaks just right. So on this version it's got 2 inches added across the yoke on the front and back, and on the side panel, so I think where that's hitting me there, that's just right. So I did the front and back yoke and the side panels with 2 inches extra across here. I sized down, so this version I made in a 5 and this version I made in a 5, but I wanted to see how it'd look in a 4, and I think I am happy with this. I think it's a bit nicer fitting around here. I kept the ruffle in as is, but I added in here. I didn't have enough for sleeves because I made this version and this version out of just 1 metre, but I wanted just a little bit of something around the armhole, so the bits that were left over I just cut into strips loops like that, and then I did a rolled hem on the edge and gathered them to make kind of a mini sleeve like that, just to finish off the armhole rather than using the binding that I used on this one in the armholes. And I think it kind of holds the ruffle up well, and it's a nice little detail around there, so I am happy with that one. The length of the pattern is exactly the length, so obviously I've added the 2 inches in here, but I've added no length to here, and actually that is about the right length on me. I'm 5'10" and I'm quite tall in the body, so if you are petite it might be worth measuring yourself to see if you need to reduce the length of the front panel. Again, with this one I just did a binding, made a binding out of the same fabric to go all around the neckline, and I didn't do the opening at the back, so I just put it on and off over my head, which is working just fine. So this is a cotton poplin, and I just love this orange and blues together. I'm not normally a big orange fan, but I love kind of the brightness with these kind of darker blues, and it just makes me think of Spain and lovely hot summers, so I'm really pleased with how this turned out. Overall, I'm really happy with this pattern. I think it's got a lot of mileage, so this one and this one and this one all have kind of got their own personality and slightly different, but this top I made it out of 1 meter, and this one, and I feel like I could just make them and it'd build a really nice kind of core capsule summer wardrobe. I think it's good to make it in kind of a print or a fabric with a bit of a texture, just to kind of let the design of the pattern and the fabric sing. So I'd really recommend making this one, and then I just use kind of the adaptations across the armhole and the yoke and kind of on the length, and then you could put in the opening at the back, or you could try it with no opening over the head and see how you got on. I should have mentioned before that I did actually bring the neckline down to the smallest size on the front of this one and this one to give me a bigger opening on the neckline. So if you do decide to make it cotton the fold on the back, you do need to drop down the neckline a little bit to give you room to put it on and off. If you've got any questions or anything that you think I haven't covered, please let me know in the comments.